You're watching a seemingly normal live stream, but in just a few seconds, everything will take an unexpected turn. Have you ever seen a celebrity, usually calm in front of the camera, suddenly lose their composure in front of tens of thousands? Even millions of live viewers, one wrong word, one out-of-control reaction, and their carefully constructed image can crumble in an instant. But what's even scarier is it just a sudden outburst of emotion or the truth they've been hiding all along? Before we begin, if you find this content interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the behind-the-scenes stories that few dare to tell. Stay until the end of the video, because what you're about to see might change your perspective on the glamour of social media. Diego Maradona, a name that was never gentle in front of the camera. In 2010, when he was the head coach of the Argentine national team, the pressure to qualify for the World Cup weighed heavily on the entire team. Criticism surrounded them. Skepticism spread until Argentina won decisively against Uruguay. It seemed like everything would calm down. But no, at the press conference, Maradona entered with all his pent-up emotions. He thanked those who believed in him, then immediately turned to respond to those who had doubted him. His statement became the center of controversy. "I am not gray in this life. It is either white or black." But the drama didn't end there. Immediately after was a direct confrontation with journalist Juan Carlos Pazman live on television. There was no longer a distance between the stage and the audience, only heated, frank, and emotional exchanges. A moment that even today still prompts reflection. What really happened at that press conference? He disgusted me not because of the story, but because of how it exploded right in front of the cameras, leaving no room for retreat, no safe distance between emotions and the public. And if anyone turns media conflicts into a personal brand, the first name that comes to mind is Alfredo Adame, among countless clashes with the media. One of the most memorable moments occurred right on the Laura Sin Censura program. It started as a normal exchange, but within minutes, the atmosphere had completely changed. The back and forth quickly escalated beyond mere debate, turning into a fierce personal attack. Adame, no longer able to maintain his composure, suddenly stood up and left the studio amidst the ongoing argument. "You disgust me because your image is truly disgusting." These words, like direct cuts, escalated the confrontation to a climax, plunging the entire studio into chaos. From a televised interview, everything turned into an uncontrollable confrontation. And that was just one of many times Alfredo Adame made the Mexican media question: is this his personality or an image created from conflicts like this? Mark Anthony was inadvertently dragged into one of the biggest scandals surrounding Jennifer Lopez, when Ajani Noor attempted to leak a video allegedly containing intimate details. In a short time, the story exploded across the newspapers and became a relentless media sensation. Every interview, every public appearance, he faced questions related to the incident. During a tense interview, despite Mark Anthony's apparent discomfort, the reporter relentlessly pressed on the sensitive topic. "This is breaking news right now. At least answer me one question," the interviewer urged. As if the singer's silence only made the story more compelling, the atmosphere immediately changed. Mark Anthony's face turned cold, and his representative quickly stepped in to end the conversation. "Thank you, we'll stop here." But even when the interview was cut short, the reporter refused to stop, trying to justify that the press was only doing its job of connecting artists with the public. That moment caused Mark Anthony to explode. He turned around, looked directly at the reporter, and retorted sharply, "You ray an idiot, you ray not a bridge at all." The statement nearly silenced the entire room. When the reporter reacted, feeling insulted, Mark Anthony maintained his cold gaze and responded in a chilling voice, "I have never disrespected you." A short statement, but enough to end the tense confrontation between the artist and the media. Eduardo Yanez has long been known for his tense relationship with the media. For years, He has been constantly embroiled in heated confrontations with reporters, especially when his private life is questioned publicly. For Eduardo, there are boundaries that shouldn't be crossed, but not everyone respects them. During one press appearance, the atmosphere quickly became chaotic when a reporter repeatedly pressed the microphone against his face to ask questions. Eduardo immediately lost his temper and angrily demanded, "Get that damn microphone away from my face." Despite this, the reporter continued to press forward, further provoking the actor's frustration. "Hey, you need to keep your distance. You're an adult, don't you understand that?" Eduardo shouted in frustration. He repeatedly emphasized the need for everyone to respect personal space and stay safe, just as everyone else around him was doing. The atmosphere was so tense that a single sentence could have caused everything to explode. Despite his anger, Eduardo tried to explain that he didn't want to cause trouble. "I'm just here to be friendly and give interviews. Why does everything always have to turn into this mess?" His words sounded both like a complaint and a reflection of the weariness of an artist constantly feeling overwhelmed by media pressure. "It's you again, you idiot." Eduardo Yanez continued his outburst when confronting a reporter amidst the chaotic crowd. When the reporter replied that his name was Gabriel, the actor became even more irritated. "That stupid Gabriel doesn't understand anything. You don't respect anything." However, the incident that the public remembers most is the 2017 scandal, when Eduardo Yanez slapped reporter Paco Fuentes of the show El Gordo, "Y la Flaca," after a question about his son. That moment immediately spread across the media and caused intense controversy. Surprisingly, comedian Eugenio Derbez later revealed that the reporter wasn't entirely innocent as many people thought. He said he was standing nearby and sensed the tension even before the incident occurred. "I heard the reporter constantly being unpleasant and thought this was going to end badly, and as expected, things quickly spiraled out of control in just a few seconds of heated argument." The verbal clash turned into one of the most infamous moments of Eduardo Yanez's career. Following a successful tour and the release of their new album in 2013, internal conflicts began to emerge within the famous Chilean rock band. These prolonged disagreements ultimately led to the departure of Claudio Neria, the longtime singer and guitarist. To stabilize the situation, the band quickly held a press conference to introduce their replacement, Alvaro Henriquez. However, what the band hoped for didn't happen, instead of focusing on the new member or their upcoming musical plans. The press relentlessly pursued rumors and tensions surrounding Claudio Neria's departure. The atmosphere at the press conference became increasingly tense as sensitive questions were repeatedly asked. One band member tried to remain calm but clearly lost patience. "We agreed not to talk about it anymore." This was a polite agreement and everyone should respect it. Nevertheless, reporters continued to press him about the information that had just appeared in the newspapers. Finally, in the face of relentless questioning, he coldly replied, "I've already said it. I won't mention it again." A brief answer, but enough to reveal the simmering tension behind the scenes for the band at that time. Not only in the entertainment industry, but Colombian politics has also witnessed similar explosive moments. Rodolfo Hernández Suárez, then mayor of Bucaramanga, created one of the most shocking moments on Colombian television when he had a heated argument with Councilor John Jero Claro. The confrontation escalated when Hernández's son was mentioned in an alleged corruption scandal, causing him to become enraged in front of the cameras. And then there's Nirka, a name that almost needs no introduction when it comes to explosive controversies with the media. Her relationship with the press has long been notoriously tense, chaotic, and utterly uncontrollable. At a Premios Juventud red carpet event, the actress shocked everyone by losing her temper and spitting at journalist Carolina Sandoval live on television after a heated argument. "I don't live according to what other people think," Nirka declared sharply, but the other side immediately retorted, No, you live according to what people think. Without hesitation, she countered sarcastically. I live on the money I earn when people talk about me like that. However, that wasn't the only time Nirka clashed with the media. In 2008, a journalist published information claiming she was teaching her children to drink and smoke. This rumor enraged the actress, and she publicly threatened the author, a year later appearing on the show La Tidra. She confronted the journalist directly and demanded an apology live on television. For Nirka, confrontations never stopped at a few heated arguments. She always reacted fiercely whenever she felt insulted or misrepresented in public. And it was this fiery, outspoken nature that made her one of the most controversial figures in Latin American entertainment for many years. As RBD became the biggest musical phenomenon in Latin America, Anahi also reached the peak of her fame. Millions of fans cheered her name on stage, but behind the lights lay an unseen pressure. While the band continuously broke records and sold out tickets everywhere, the media seemed more interested in Anahi's body than her talent. Rumors, sensitive questions, and articles about the singer's eating disorder constantly appeared in the press. A painful period in her life was discussed as entertainment, even though it was something Anahi never wanted to talk about. Every time she appeared in public, she faced not only cameras but also relentless scrutiny from the media. However, instead of collapsing, Anahi chose to confront it all directly, when confronted with an unpleasant question in an interview. She calmly but sharply responded, "I am a great person, maybe not to you because sometimes you annoy me. But if I don't like someone, I can become very bad." That wasn't simply a spontaneous response. It was more like a warning from a girl who was tired of smiling in the face of the pain. The public never truly understood behind the glitz and glamour of fame. Justin Bieber's interview initially went very smoothly. The Canadian singer talked about his new album, his musical journey, and the artists who have inspired him throughout his burgeoning career. The atmosphere was quite relaxed until a seemingly harmless question unexpectedly changed everything. The interviewer suddenly asked if Justin made his own decisions about his style and image. Who chooses your clothes? Do you create your own style? Justin briefly replied yes, but his expression immediately changed. Discomfort was evident on the singer's face, as if the question had touched on something he didn't want to talk about. Noticing the tension rising, the interviewer quickly tried to change the subject and continued talking about Justin's massive social media following. But it was too late. Without arguing or explaining, Justin Bieber unexpectedly stood up from his chair and quietly left the interview room, leaving everyone present completely stunned. That moment quickly went viral on social media. Just a few seconds of silence and a simple standing up and walking away were enough to show the immense pressure Justin Bieber faced, where even seemingly simple questions can sometimes be the straw that breaks the camel's back. While promoting a new project in Hollywood, Ana de Armas experienced one of the most awkward moments on the red carpet, when a seemingly normal interview unexpectedly took an uncomfortable turn. Initially, the interviewer talked about the actress's rise to fame and the difficult years before she became famous. But the conversation quickly became sensitive when he dropped a sarcastic question. The interviewer implied that Ana might have lived weeks on Alex Pettyfer's sofa or relied on others to get to where she is now. Despite trying to sound lighthearted, his tone made the conversation even more uncomfortable. Ana de Armas immediately changed her expression, but she remained calm in front of the cameras. "I didn't live off anyone." The actress replied curtly but firmly. The interviewer quickly explained that he was only referring to her hard work, travel, and dedication to achieve success. However, that attempt at damage control didn't actually improve the situation. The moment quickly went viral on social media, sparking a wave of criticism directed at the interviewer. Many viewers felt the question was condescending and contained clear sexist undertones. While Ana de Armas's calm response was praised for her tact and composure, in such an uncomfortable situation. While promoting a new project in Hollywood, Ana de Armas experienced one of the most awkward moments on the red carpet when a seemingly normal interview unexpectedly took an uncomfortable turn. Initially, the interviewer talked about the actress's rise to fame and the difficult years before she became famous. But the conversation quickly became sensitive when he dropped a sarcastic question. The interviewer implied that Ana might have lived weeks on Alex Pettyfer's sofa or relied on others to get to where she is now. Despite trying to sound lighthearted, his tone made the conversation even more uncomfortable. Ana de Armas immediately changed her expression, but she remained calm in front of the cameras. "I didn't live off anyone." The actress replied curtly but firmly. The interviewer quickly explained that he was only referring to her hard work, travel, and dedication to achieve success. However, that attempt at damage control didn't actually improve the situation. The moment quickly went viral on social media, sparking a wave of criticism directed at the interviewer. Many viewers felt the question was condescending and contained clear sexist undertones, while Ana de Armas's calm response was praised for her tact and composure in such an uncomfortable situation. From tense interviews and inappropriate questions to scandals that have gone too far, the line between caring and invasion is sometimes thinner than ever. And perhaps what makes these moments controversial isn't just the star's reactions, but the question: have the media and the public gone too far? What do you think about these situations? Did the artists overreact? Or were they simply protecting themselves from the immense pressure of fame? Leave your thoughts below. And don't forget to follow us for more surprising behind-the-scenes stories from the entertainment world.